What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Honda GCV 160 little stand that I made out of wood. It's nothing really special or interesting in that matter, but it also kind of shows us the key fundamentals of how an engine mounts to a lawnmower. As you guys can see, I drilled out some holes to mount the engine on. I only have 2 of the mounting bolts on, but it's plenty of enough. You know, I'm not really testing this unit at all today. I just wanted to show you guys it. So in order to run these engines without them being on the lawnmower, you have to connect something to your engine brake or your flywheel brake / kill switch. There's something deeper in here that hits on a switch. I'm gonna try to get it with my phone here. It's in there. It hits on a switch, turning off the engine when that's released. So in here I have another GCV 160. Actually the same model engine, just a little bit different color and different kill switch option here. As you guys can see, this is for a pressure washer. And this unit is actually about 5 years older than the unit out here. Yet this one leaks oil, the newer one, and the older one does not. So basically, I got this pressure washer for free. Came with a GCV 160. I replaced the exhaust with the one that's on there now, so they were just swapped, kind of to make it look better. This one doesn't have any rust on it. And here was the water pump that was on it. I had bought a new one, and it's supposed to arrive here soon today. I'm pretty sure that's the problem. The engine runs fine. It runs perfectly fine. The only problem that we have with it is that the water is not pressurized. So I bought a new water pump. I'm going to install it on here. I opened this one up looking at it, and it seems like some of the seals are broken. So we're going to put a new one on whenever it comes, and it should be ready to go. I have everything to mount it all together. This engine runs perfectly. It is a bit old, as you guys can see by just the discoloration of the flywheel cover. I mean, just looking at it. But I mean, it doesn't look in awful shape. And knowing what brand it is, we know that it will still run fine. So I'm going to find something real quick to kind of keep that flywheel brake from engaging on the flywheel and keeping the engine killed, so we can start this guy up and see how this stand works. All right, so a lot of people will tell you to use a zip tie for this. I don't really like doing that. I just like kind of finding something like a spring or something that's long enough to attach to right here and to right here. And if you can keep this arm retracted for your flywheel brake, you can start your engine up while it's not on a lawnmower. Now this thing is most likely going to surge horribly just because the RPM and the governor arm is adjusted to basically like there being a blade on it and the engine being under load. So as you guys can see, I mean, by all the dirt on here, it's not because I don't decide to clean my engines. It's simply because that this engine has a very bad oil leak. I'm almost certain that it's coming from down here, but at this point, I have no idea. It has been sitting over here for the past week or so in 2 different locations, right here and right here. And as you guys can see, a little bit of a puddle of oil has built up on the ground in both spots. And yeah, I mean, this thing is definitely leaking a hell of a lot of oil. Should be fine. I mean, I've ran these engines with no oil in them for a pretty good amount of time, and the worst that happens is just a bunch of metal shavings in the engine. So we're going to go ahead and test this thing out, see if it works. It should work. You know, I just started the engine up. I just want to make sure that this stand doesn't end up tipping the engine over or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and test her out. And here she is surging because there is no blade on it. It is meant to be under load. Oh wow, it's running fine now. There's that old exhaust I was talking about that was originally on the pressure washer in there. I just swapped them so that one would look better in there than this one. All right, we know she runs. I'm gonna show you guys how to kill it now. All you gotta do to kill it is just grab this we go. Immediately. So basically the reason why this stopped immediately is not only does this arm control spark in the engine, but it also is attached to a brake that engages on the flywheel to stop the engine quicker. And on lawnmowers, which there's the original one that this one was on, the arm, when you release it, it releases this, stopping the engine altogether. So taking a look on in here, this cover or this filter is going to look very bad. Trust me, I mean, it's not horrible. It just has a bunch of mold built up on it because it was sitting outside for a very long time in the rain, and just not a very pretty sight. Alright, so I was going to wrap up this video here for these little Honda GCV units. They are pretty good engines, pretty simple, self-explanatory. Honestly, these are probably the most simple yet most efficient single-cylinder 4-stroke engines that there are on the market. They come with actually an overhead cam in them. They're not like the Briggs & Stratton engines that are just push rod activated or overhead valve activated. These actually have an overhead cam, or a single cam lobe that activates on both intake and exhaust. I mean, it's efficient and it's way, way better long-term than, I mean, some of the Briggs & Stratton lawnmowers that you would get. You know, these are going to last you a hell of a lot longer. And I've actually found these being easier to work on than like the flat top pistons or the overhead valve unit piston or overhead valve unit engines that Briggs & Stratton makes. This one over here is going to be a flat top piston or flat top engine, meaning that the whole entire valve cover is just not existent, and it's just the head of an engine, almost like it would be for like a 2-stroke engine, and the valves and pistons set parallel to each other. Alright, so yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, I would appreciate it if you guys left a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, just about as hard as I'm going to hit this engine here.